competed against John at the highest levels of politics. He made us better presidents, just as he made the Senate better, just as he made this country better. So for someone like John to ask you, while he's still alive, to stand and speak of him when he's gone is a precious and singular honor. Now, when John called me with that request earlier this year, I'll admit sadness and also a certain surprise. But after our conversation ended, I realized how well it captured some of John's essential qualities. To start with, John liked being unpredictable, even a little contrarian. He had no interest in conforming to some prepackaged version of what a senator should be, and he didn't want a memorial that was going to be prepackaged either. It also showed John's disdain for self-pity. He had been to hell and back, and yet somehow never lost his energy or his optimism or his zest for life. So cancer did not scare him, and he would maintain that buoyant spirit to the very end, too stubborn to sit still, opinionated as ever, fiercely devoted to his friends, and most of all to his family. It showed his irreverence, his sense of humor, a little bit of a mischievous streak. After all, what better way to get a last laugh than to make George and I say nice things about him to a national audience? And most of all, it showed a largeness of spirit, an ability to see past differences in search of common ground. And in fact, on the surface, John and I could not have been more different. We're of different generations. I came from a broken home and never knew my father. John was the scion of one of America's most distinguished military families. I have a reputation for keeping cool. John, not so much. We were standard bearers of different American political traditions, and throughout my presidency, John never hesitated to tell me when he thought I was screwing up, which by his calculation was about once a day. But for all our differences, for all the times we sparred, I never tried to hide, and I think John came to understand the long-standing admiration that I had for him. John believed in honest argument and hearing other views. He understood that if we get in the habit of bending the truth to suit political expediency or party orthodoxy, our democracy will not work. That's why he was willing to buck his own party at times, occasionally work across the aisle on campaign finance reform and immigration reform. That's why he championed a free and independent press as vital to our democratic debate. And the fact that it earned him some good coverage didn't hurt either. John understood, as JFK understood, as Ronald Reagan understood, that part of what makes our country great is that our membership is based not on our bloodline, not on what we look like, what our last names are. It's not based on where our parents or grandparents came from or how recently they arrived, but on adherence to a common creed. That all of us are created equal. endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. It's been mentioned today, and we've seen footage this week of John pushing back against supporters who challenged my patriotism during the 2008 campaign. I was grateful, but I wasn't surprised. As Joe Lieberman said, it was John's instinct. I never saw John treat anyone differently because of their race or religion or gender. And I'm certain that in those moments that have been referred to during the campaign, he saw himself as defending America's character, not just mine. For he considered it the imperative of every citizen who loves this country to treat all people fairly. And finally, while John and I disagreed on all kinds of foreign policy issues, we stood together on America's role as the one indispensable nation, believing that with great power and great blessings comes great responsibility. What better way to honor John McCain's life of service than, as best we can, follow his example? To prove that the willingness to get in the arena and fight for this country is not reserved for the few, it is open to all of us. That in fact it's demanded of all of us as citizens of this great republic. That's perhaps how we honor him best, by recognizing that there are some things bigger than party or ambition or money or fame or power. That there's some things that are worth risking everything for. Principles that are eternal. Truths that are abiding. At his best, John showed us what that means. For that, we are all deeply in his debt. May God bless John McCain. May God bless this country he served so well.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Renee Allen and Friends show right here on WLVS Radio, the largest online radio broadcast in the United States. I'm so honored to have you here on this beautiful day. I'm looking out the window now across from Howard University, HU, you know, where my niece Shayna Calandra graduated from. She just got a great job out in California, too. So, woo, congratulations, Shayna. Listen, I wanted to just run a little bit of the footage of the eulogy, the amazing eulogy that our President Obama gave for an American hero, Senator John McCain. You know, being a 21-year retired veteran myself in the United States Navy and Reserve, I am just appalled at how the current president has acted and has tried to demean and there's no words for what he has done. It just broke my heart because he has not even served in the military. And it's just a shame that you would try to demean someone who has been such a wonderful American hero and able to even allow Trump and people to have, you know, American dreams and to do things in the borders of these United States. So, you know, just shame on the people that are talking about this in a negative way. He is a hero. He is one of my heroes, one of President Obama and former President Bush, and so many people spoke about this wonderful man, and I honor him and I salute him today. Rest in peace, Senator John McCain. And thank you, President Obama. You'll always be my president. Bam, boom, pa-da. So let's get started. Well, Navetica, your pet's choice, yes, is our sponsor. Woo, come on now. I'm loving it, y'all. Look, I've done so many things in my lifetime. I'm a military reservist career, Fannie Mae, cosmetic manager. God, so many things, so many entrepreneurial adventures, and none have I ever come across like Navetica, Your Pet's Choice. It is a ground floor opportunity. We will be launching this phenomenal company by your I say everyone's CEO because he's not just mine. He's so many people love and adore, respect, and admire Dr. Lance London, who owns the Carolina Kitchen where you get your chicken and much, much more. Come on, welcome, welcome, welcome. That's what you hear every time you open that door. But if you are interested in any information about this wonderful historical company that's getting ready to launch, just inbox me. If you have a pet, cat, or dog, I have some wonderful, innovative, and revolutionary products. And guess what? You don't have to get in your car. You don't have to waste your gas. At the fingertips, you have access to the pet industry with wonderful products and services for your furry loved ones. So God bless Dr. London, the founders, the leaders, the backers, and all of Navetica Nation, because you will hear about it just like you hear about everything else. It's going to be a ground floor historical battalion of people helping to give your pet the opportunity to have a healthier and healthier life. So God bless them. All right. Well, I wanted to say hey to my mom, too, and thank you for all the love and prayers on Facebook. The surgery was successful. She's recovering at home. Woo! Yes! We need our mamas. So I just want to say, hey, Mom, and my sister Lisa for taking great care of her. You always need a great caretaker. And she lives so far that I'm not able to do what I love to do. So God bless my sister as well. Okay, so let's get right to it. Oh, listen, we have someone on the line. We can get to the other stuff later. We have the phenomenal portrait artiste, humanitarian, and wonderful woman of God, Jackie Hicks on the phone. Jackie!
Hello, hello. Hi, how are you?
I'm great, beautiful. How are you?
I am doing super. Thank you so much for asking.
Oh, my goodness, Jackie. I've been trying to get you on here. Look, WLVS listener. She's always doing something and always traveling. And I'm so honored to have you on the show today. And it's been weeks, probably a month since your birthday girl.
Oh, yes. What an amazing birthday I had. I tell you, I am still kind of recovering from that. It was wonderful. And all of my family, friends, and, basically everyone. It's yourself. And Tyler Anderson.
Yes.
You guys were great hosts. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. And the phenomenal Dexter Fields.
Oh, yes.
You can't get any better than that.
Oh, my goodness. Everyone there adored you. And I'll tell you, Tara and I, we just kind of sat back off of our commentating duties because the crowd was so excited about you. We didn't want to keep disturbing them. So they just had a wonderful time and we just went with the flow,
Right. I really appreciate it, man. I just have so many folks to thank. First of all, I'd like to thank God for giving me the opportunity to even see the age of 55.
Yes, ma'am.
It's been a long journey. And I thank you. My journey is not over for a long time. I hope not.
Yes,
but I really appreciate. First of all, I want to say happy birthday to my daughter Alexis, Chef Alexis Hicks. She turned 23 years old today. Alexis, happy birthday! Love you, kid.
Happy birthday.
My birthday celebration. And all the wonderful friends and family. I don't even call my clients. I call them my friends. And I really appreciate everyone that came out. And I hope, everyone had a wonderful time. We had a wonderful play that was taking place this year.
Oh, yes.
On every major birthday, I give back to an organization. And this year was domestic violence. Miss Wyoming.
Yes, Wyoming, Paris. Yes.
Fabulous.
Yes, ma'am. It was amazing. People keep talking about that.
And Miss Wyoming, her play was Then I Sang My Soul. Amazing for domestic violence. And I really appreciate her, giving me the opportunity to come and
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you have another girl's birthday I saw on Facebook. Your daughter and your partner. Oh, give her a shout out now. Are you still there? We lost her? Oh, I'll call her back. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, let me see if I can call her back. You know, this is live, so live in Memorex. Let's see if I can get her. Oh, there she is. Jackie?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
That's
Sorry.
all right. We lost you, but we got you back. That's all that matters.
You know, it was amazing. It was amazing cause. And I'm just so thankful to, you know, have everybody to come out and help me celebrate, you know, domestic violence.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, it hits home for me as well. Mm-hmm. I really don't like to speak about it, but, you know, I kind of shared it there at my birthday and, you know.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I'm just happy to see 55. I thank everybody for coming.
Well, you look 30. You look 30, so.
I feel about 30. I tell you, I feel about 30. It was just, you know, guys, when you're celebrating a, you know, milestone, and we all will, you know, come to that time in the road that we will celebrate a milestone if, you know, God is willing.
Yes,
And, you know, it takes a village to put an event like that together. You know, Dexter Fields, you know, Michelle Pinham,
yes.
Sharon Lincoln, you know, Letitia Thornhill.
Woo!
Really appreciate Letitia. That's my right hand. She just celebrated her birthday a day or so ago as
Woo!
well.
Come on
really
now.
appreciate that. You know, it was a lot. And, you know, one of the other things that I did as well was the day after my birthday, I gave back to the homeless down at Union Station.
Yes, ma'am.
Myself and my other company that, you know, I'm a big part of as well, and Fawn Lindsay, which is brand new. Yes. You know, we came out and we just walked around. I mean, it was hot, you know. Hey, I'm like, whatever, man, let's just do it. And we have to give back to others. And that's what we did. You know,
yes, ma'am.
Myself, Letitia, Amy Moore, my daughter Amy came out.
I saw her.
Yeah, Joe Braxton. Thanks, Joe, so much. Joe's always got my back. I appreciate that.
Yes.
And it's amazing.
You had a bunch of people, and I don't know how. I know you don't sleep because you had really a week-long birthday out and about, helping everyone else and celebrating your birthday in that manner in the community. God bless you.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
I thank you guys. I thank everybody for, you know, just for, you know, coming out and wanted to come out on Sunday.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, all the pastors that came out, you know, that have a big part of my life. I really appreciate them, you know, so much. And just all of my friends. I'm not going to say clients, and my friends. And I appreciate that. And my
everybody was there.
From there.
Yeah, everybody was there. And matter of fact, there was a standing room only, and people trying to get in. They kind of had to weave in and weave out. You had people as far as the UK, I understood.
Yeah, I had some friends that come in from Germany and South France.
My God.
So I really, you know, appreciate their love and kind and support, even traveling that far to come and help me celebrate. I really appreciate it dearly. So, you know, guys, you know, don't take anything for granted. Just live life to the fullest.
Come on now.
You know, I go to church on Wednesdays with Pastor Henry P. Davis.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, and
yes.
I tell you, I don't want to get emotional, but you know what? You know, you have to get that word in. I mean, without God, and I tell everybody, you know, without Him, I'm nobody.
Ooh.
You wouldn't even know who I am without this man. This man upstairs is very powerful.
Yes, yes, yes. And that faith word is really important because even right now, I'm living on faith right now. You know, God is so good, and I know He comes through for all of us. You just have to have faith, right? Yes,
indeed. You know, it's a blessing. I tell you, it's a blessing.
Well, look, I want to talk about something that's close to your heart and one of your pet peeves, and that is branding.
Oh, branding is important. I think, you know what, Renee, you know what I say all the time, you know, everyone knows branding is important. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many different ways can we say it?
Come on now.
You know, you value yourself at what you feel that you're worth. That's important.
Yes.
So, you know, even though you being a photographer, I mean, there's 10,000 fabulous photographers out here, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
We already know that we have to have a great image in order to present ourselves to others. That's number one. Yes. No question.
Yeah. I actually have the picture that you took of me that I still use proudly. Jacob, do we have that picture? I sent a headshot to you. Yes, of me. Say Renee headshot and Jackie Hicks.
Oh, yeah.
While he's looking for that, I just want to say that, when we met, I guess it was a little over 5, maybe 6 years ago. I'm not sure. It might have been longer than that.
Yeah.
You really, there it is. Bam, boom, put out. That was the picture you took, and I
Oh,
still
you're
use it.
beautiful. Cut it out. You're beautiful. So that's going to be easy. That's easy.
Girl, I had such a ball that day, and you told me something that I would never forget. I knew it, but I didn't know how to really speak about it at the time. And you said, you can have the best. Well, why don't you tell them what you said? You remember about the
I
picture?
don't.
Okay, you had told me. You said, Star. You said people are out here doing great things, and they have great. Visions and things, but if they don't have the right picture, it doesn't make a difference,
Yeah.
And I thought
Yeah.
about that, and I started looking around at different people's businesses, and when I saw the picture, I said, my, Jackie Hicks.
I have a little saying which I love so much.
Yeah.
Life is like a camera. You capture the good times. You develop from the negative. And if things don't turn out, you better take another shot.
Oh, I love it. I actually read that at your birthday party because I know that you really live by that.
Sure.
My goodness.
And that's what branding is about. You have to do it right the first time, guys. And we all know that. You don't need 10,000 people to preach that to you.
Yeah.
You value yourself, and my whole thing is you value yourself at what you feel that you're worth.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I know you are booked. Sometimes you have some open space and you'll send something out to your VIPs. But how do people get a hold of you to get that picture that they can use to present themselves and get in the door?
I normally have folks go out. A lot of people know me. I've been in this business. I can't even believe this now. Also, I kind of mentioned it as well. I've been in this business 25 years. I'm like, oh my God.
25, girl.
Wow. So
it flies by.
And I'm still here, and I thank God for that. I'm still here. So, the thing is that, we kind of advertise. I don't really advertise that much, but I do have a business page, which is Fond Memories, Portrait Artist Jackie Hicks.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
actually running a special on that particular page. You guys can go to that if you like. My office is 301-574-0786. You can call my office, and my assistant, my assistant, Takia Watts, is fabulous. She did a lot of the planning for me and getting the birthday party together. She's amazing. So I'm so thankful to have Takia in my life as well. So, people can go to her, or they'll call her, and they'll reach her here. Or go to my Facebook page, it's Jackie Hicks.
Yes, ma'am.
That'll be fine.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, and if you liked my picture, that was years ago. So we're getting ready to do another photo shoot. Right, Jackie?
Yes, we are, kid. Yes, we are, kid. Come on in. I can't wait to see you.
I'll be there.
I know you've been trying to get me to come on your show for the longest. I'm thankful that you even asked me.
Yes, well, I'm thankful for you. You're not only my extraordinary photographer, but you're also my friend, and it was my honor, along with Tara, to co-host your birthday party. And we just love you. All of us do, and I love it because you're so like-minded. You really love women. You're not just talking it. You're talking it and you're walking it, and that's why I love and admire you so much.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm going to definitely say a prayer for your mom. I hope she gets well.
Thank you. Well, before you leave us, thank you so much. Before you leave us, can you just give some advice to up-and-coming photographers or just people in business in general? What would you give them, maybe a tidbit or two about going into business?
Well, they've heard this a million times as well from many different seminars. Folks go to seminars and webinars, and they listen all the time. Educate yourself. Just do that.
Yes,
just
ma'am.
educate yourself in whatever you're doing. It can be photography, makeup artistry, videography. Maybe you got some of the awesome makeup artists in the country that live right here in this area. Kim Lee, Jermaine Williams. You have Letitia Thornhill. You have some of the best in the business.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right here that you can, educate yourself from. Even myself, you have photographer Daryl Todd, excellent.
Yes, so many of them.
He's an educator. I teach, but I teach for the University of the Virgin Islands, so I teach au pairs.
Yes.
And I also teach for the Professional Photographers of America. So, you have a lot of instructors. I don't know too many, but you have organizations that you can join and educate yourself
Yes,
in your
ma'am.
craft.
Yes, ma'am.
Like I said, not only photography, many other things, real estate, the whole 9 yards. There's so many great people in Prince George's, gorgeous Prince George.
Gorgeous Prince
And
George's.
this is where we are. We're in the DMV, guys.
Yeah.
Educate yourself and push yourself forward.
Thank you, the Jackie Hicks. Thank you so much. God bless
Yeah.
you and everything that you're doing. I know you have a lot of things going on. You want to give us a shout out on anything you're doing? You want to keep that a secret for a minute?
One thing I did not say at my party is that I know a lot of people can't even believe, they won't even believe that I'm actually publishing my first book.
Oh, your first book.
It's
My.
on photography. It's called The Journey to Photography. Wow. And I named the book after a young lady who I met who really touched my heart. She was 13 years old, and unfortunately she passed away, and her name was Journey.
Yes, yes.
And I wanted to name my book after her because, you know what? Life throws us curves all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes, he brings the right person in your life.
Come on now.
And I thank Maggie Francois for bringing her niece to me.
Yes, that's
And
friend
I
to the
really
show, Maggie.
appreciate that. And she was just the sweetest and the warmest young lady. At the age of 13, and
Yes,
she
ma'am.
went on and to be with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yes, Lord.
She's in good hands. I know.
And her memory will live on through you and so many others.
Yeah.
Look, when
Yeah.
so we have a book
So
signing coming? Do we have a book signing coming soon?
I'm trying to be pushed to push myself forward. Sometimes we have to be pushed.
Yes, yes.
And I'm going to make it happen. And I want it to happen sooner than later. So I'm working on it.
Well,
I'm
come
gonna
on,
push
sis. We're going to be accountability partners because I have my book and I keep playing around with it and playing around. So we're going to do this, okay, together, okay?
We will, guys. But, just look out for it, guys. And if it helps anyone, I would be so thankful. And we have to educate ourselves in our crafts. And I think that it will work,
Yes, ma'am.
no matter what.
Well, I'm going to add educator to your memoirs. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so
Bless your heart, bless
much.
your heart.
I
Thank
love
you
you.
so
I'm
much.
throwing kisses.
Oh, I love you much. Thank you.
God bless you,
guys.
Jackie
Take care. Thank you
Hicks.
so much.
Love
All
you.
right. Take
Bye-bye.
care of yourself. I love
All
you
right.
more. Love you more. Take
Love you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, my goodness. Jackie Hicks, she's such a phenomenal person. I'm just so blessed to have some good women in my life and extra blessed that the Lord has separated me from some other good women just weren't good for me. So I just appreciate her. God bless her. I'm going to be talking to you about her book, upcoming book. Maybe we'll do something together. Really support her. Really support yourself because she doesn't advertise for a reason because she doesn't need to. I mean, you saw my picture. I have other pictures. That's just happens to be my favorite. And everyone who is doing anything in the DMV knows about Jackie and has been in her studio. So just look for her and get your image, okay, that picture to get you in the door for people to see who you are from Jackie Hicks. Before we take a break, let me just go into a few things. Jacob, if we could. I want to talk about a few things. I was not able to make one of my mentee, my friend's film. She had a debut film, and it was Destined Cachet. That's Sarah Bell. Do we have that? Sarah Bell. Congratulations to you for Cachet, Destined Cachet. I think that's how you say it. She just had her debut this past weekend, and I'm just so proud of her. Also, we have Inspired by Love, and that is, I think she was a guest last week or the week before, right there. Yes, Pastor Dawn M. Harvey. She has Gina Neely, who's coming in from the Food Network. I think it was 8 good runs she had, the longest running Food Network in history of that network. Nakia Marie, who will be singing one of my favorite singers and one of my favorite songs, Unstoppable. Of course, the women, one of whom I am so dear and close to, Nakia Wright, Lady Nakia Wright. This is going to be phenomenal. Unfortunately, it's sold out. So when I ask you to get something, you need to get it when I tell you because it's sold out, I think, 2 days, last Friday. So 2 days after I had asked y'all to get You're getting a book. All of this it's just so much. I mean, Dawn Harvey has given you so much for just a donation, you know. Also, we have, a few birthdays. We have Carolyn Demp. She's having her, look at her. Bam, boom, pow. So look on her page for her details, Carolyn Demp. And also we have Susan Smallwood. I have a flyer, I believe, in coordination with Macy's and We Will Survive Cancer. And they'll be celebrating her birthday, Miss Grandiosity, at the Macy's. Yes, there's her logo. And Teresa Royal Brown, she's having a author summit. There she is, my girl. Yes, now, something's coming up. Y'all know that I love people of God, of spirit, who care about people, who uplift people, who don't gossip. You know, back in my day, I may have, yes, but I don't do that now. And I at a certain age, you need to stop doing a lot of things so you can pour into the youth and millennials and people who are going to be running this world when we're gone. So one person that does that so well is Mr. Bob Path. Woo! That is my brother from another mother, and I'm his sister from another mister. Yes, so he has the book, Communicating to Win in Life, Love, and Business. And I was honored to interview him in his home in Baltimore with a Oprah type of interview. It was beautiful. And I pegged this book, The Communication Bible, because if you're not able to communicate, you're timid, anything, you're not able to feel comfortable, you need to read this book. It's so user-friendly and just so, without lack of a better word, just 1, 2, 3, like kindergarten. You know, it's just so easy to comprehend. So if you really want to learn how to communicate and get along with others and, really just, broaden your horizons, you need to write that book. But what I wanted to tell you, I don't have a flyer now, but he has asked me to debut as his first co-host on his debut radio show on October 1st. Oh my goodness, so I'll have that information for you, but I love me some Bob Path and what he stands for, and we are going to have a blast. So I wanted to talk about that. And lastly, Speak English. Yes, Speak English is... Oh my goodness, I love Gisette English and her daughter Ajay, I believe is how you pronounce it. And I believe we have that flyer, and it's Speak English. She's having, I believe, her 4th, it might be 5th, oh goodness help me, but I think it's her 4th Synergy, yes, in Washington, D.C. on November 1st. And I am going to be a small part of that as the MC, but she has so many phenomenal people coming to speak. I believe Iola Davis is supposed to be coming through there. My goodness. She has Dr. Lance London, the guest speaker, Mastermind, so many people, the Chamber of Commerce, everyone is there every year. This will be no different, except that we want you to be there. So I'll be talking more about that. So at this time, let's take a small break with my girl, Silver Logan Sharp, one of my favorite voices in the world. Her CD is The Groovement. It's available for purchase. And I don't know, what do we have? Find Me, Little Things. Yeah, this is a real sexy song. Little Things. Enjoy it. And I'll be right back with Stephanie White.
I got home with the ringing phone. Up just a dial tone. Was it you? Could it be? I'm just imagining how it used to be. I was wrong, wanna be alone. I guess I never really got it, but now I know it's not about me always getting my way. It's not about always looking for a change. I figured it out the second I walked away. It's all about the little things, all about discovering. Trying to clear my mind. Where are you? Could you be feeling the same as me? Do you think of me? It's not not about me needing any more space. It's not about everything will be okay. I figured it out, but then it was too late. It's all about the little things, all about discovering, all about the way you got me. It's all about the way I felt when you came round, and the way you picked me up when I was down. 'Cause it's all about the little things, all about remembering, all about the way it used to be. You see, it's all about the little things. Now I miss the little things. I should be getting over it. I thought I wouldn't give a but look at me. Now I'm such a wreck. Over, 'cause I couldn't see the big picture. Oh no, 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 'cause I couldn't see the big picture. Oh no, no, no. It's the little things. Yeah, I was looking for you, baby. It's all about the little things, all about discovering, all about the way you got me. All about the way I felt when you came round, and the way you picked me up when I was down. 'Cause it's all about the little things, all about remembering, all about the way it used to be. You see, it's all about the little things. Oh, it's the little things. It's all about the little things, all about discovering, all about the way you got me. It's all about the way I felt when you came around, and the way you picked me up when I was down. 'Cause it's all about the little things, all about remembering, all about the way it used to be. You see, it's all about the little things. Oh, I miss the little things. I couldn't see it. No, don't you ever leave me, no.
All right. Welcome back to the Renee Allen and Friends show right here on WLVS Radio. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Welcome.
Thank you. Mwah, mwah. Thank you so much
We
for
both have
having me
lipstick
on.
on. You're welcome. You're welcome. I have. Well, before we get, maybe what I'll do now is just talk. I forgot to talk about this. But before we get into Stephanie White, I wanted to just bring you up with this, Jacob. Dr. London has his first book out, Pet Work Marketing: How Novetica is taking a $1 billion bite out of the pet business. And so I wanted to show that. I forgot to do it earlier. And we'll talk about that another time as well. But right now, we're going to talk about Stephanie White. She reached out to me, and as so many people do, and thank you for that. I can't put everybody on, but this happened for a reason. I actually had another guest scheduled, and they had a death in the family. And so I filled it with Stephanie White because she's one of the stories that compelled me and touched my heart. So before we get into that, Stephanie, welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell us, who is Stephanie White? And talk a little bit.
Okay, no, thank you. Okay, so Stephanie White is a country girl who grew up on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, who moved to the big city after undergrad, and she kind of took life by the hand and just ran with it.
Come on now.
So she's, someone who just keeps going and going and doesn't give up. Mm-hmm. So
Give me 3 adjectives that describe you.
hardworking, loyal, and loving.
Ooh, I love that loyal part, girl. It's hard to find loyalty.
Yes, very loyal.
Well, look, let's get into your story because, and let me just preface this to say
Sure.
that I have authors on all the time, and they have great stories, and I've loved each and every one of them. What touched me about yours is all of the tragedy, and you're still standing, had the courage and the strength to write about it, and now and you'll hear about it in a minute, y'all, and to have that smile on your face all the time. You were smiling the whole time I was looking at you over there waiting to come on. And you're just smiling. She just is smiling, and you have a lot to smile about because the legacy is moving out of your family through you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
definitely.
let's talk about your story. Let's talk about your story from a young girl, so they can touch that, so they'll be able to want to buy this book.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just going into my story some, and my book, of course, starts when I was age 5. I was in a tragic car accident, and it happened right here in Baltimore. And the car accident, it was a drunk driver who hit our car and took the life of my mother and my older sister, and left me and my younger sister. And actually, we were on our way to pick up my father from work. So in that process, of course, the accident was really bad to the point where my baby sister had a lot of brain damage. So she never communicated or was able to communicate as we can, like right now. And she ended up passing away in 2001.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I would say because of her injuries, because she did have a seizure. And she didn't have those, of course, prior to the accident. And my sister, may I add, was 1 week shy of her 2nd birthday when our car accident occurred.
Wow.
So
2 years of age.
Yeah, it was just horrifying, and my family was devastated.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was, and through the years, of course, I've had to figure out ways to move forward. It hasn't always been easy, and I had times where I've cried myself to sleep.
Yes, ma'am.
Just missing my mother, and just looking at other kids with their mom, and like, okay, well, is this my life I'm living? I'm not supposed to be without my mother, and it was just crazy to me. And my father struggled trying to raise us, and also trying to nurse the pain that he had, which at the time I didn't realize he was in pain as well.
Right. You lost the wife.
Yes. So it was like I just knew what I needed as a child. And it wasn't until I got older that I realized that he also was hurting too.
Yes. Well, let's shout out to Dad. Shout out to Dad. Is he still with us?
He is still with us. We've had some struggles over the years, and at a certain point, my sister and I did go into the system, and we went into foster care. Yeah. And later on, thankfully, my dad's sister and my aunt and uncle ended up raising me. They took me into their home and raised me and put me through college and everything. So that was a blessing.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
So,
and I just want to take this because I've read everything and I've seen everything that they're going to see. What I want to say is there's women, we are the emotional ones. We are the ones that give birth. And so sometimes, men, and there are great men out there. I have friends of mine who are raising their children. Dr. Bruno Mazzali, for one, wasn't ready to do that, but was forced to do that. And so when I think of your dad and what he may have been going through, and then not to be able to handle it maybe the way that maybe he could, would have prayed to do so, and then for you to be an assistant, your dad is a heavy heart, I can imagine.
yes.
So when you say struggle, I'm just on my heart it wants me to say to you, whatever you're struggling with him, just love him. Just go love him.
Yeah.
Go love him before he's not here. Because I just lost my dad a year and a half ago.
Sorry to hear that.
And so I'm telling you, love him, forgive him, and love your dad. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about you in the system. Dr. George C. Frazier talks about that, him and his siblings, Emma, and them being in foster care. Look at you. You would never know all of this. You're not wearing the battle scars on the outside. How did you get through all of it?
Faith. My faith.
There goes that word
There's
again.
faith.
Yes, ma'am.
Because there was times where I felt so down and my self-esteem was so low. Yeah. And there was times where I didn't understand my purpose. And I would say, okay, God, why would you leave me? Because now, fast forward, after 2001, my sister is gone, my baby sister. So it's just me, and I'm like, okay, so what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
So I still have moments, but, I know how to get through them. I talk to God. I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm feeling like this. What do I need to do?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's been a struggle, and sometimes I love my family, but sometimes I feel like they don't truly like understand sometimes what I'm going through. And sometimes I feel like they try to understand, but it's just hard when you don't have your mom, and then you have your dad, and then you love them and everything. But it's like it's not the same sometimes when I go to family events and my dad's never there.
Yeah.
And it's like I just feel like on an island by myself. So it's definitely, I had to do a lot of work on me to get here.
And how did you do that?
Journaling, talking to what my mother's sister and I share a lot together. Like my aunt, she actually, two of my mother's sisters, they never had kids, so they've always been like my surrogate mothers or surrogate older
You're
sister.
their kid.
Yes. So they've always if Stephanie's in tears, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm calling them, dry your eyes. And then my father's sister, my aunt who raised me, she's awesome praying woman, just just kind of, just keeps me together as well. So with
What's
those
her name?
three,
You want to say her name?
yes, my aunt that raised me, Gloria Wessels, is my aunt's name. And then my aunt that's been my surrogate mother is Barbara Smalling.
God bless y'all.
Yes, and then my aunt Kimberly, she's amazing.
Yay.
And they're just
leave her out.
amazing people. And I just thank my family members, cousins, everybody, because my cousins became my siblings because then my aunt and uncle adopted me. And so they take me in and they love on me. Megan, Carly, and Keith, they
Come
just
on
really
now.
take care
Come
of me.
on.
We're siblings, and it's just been a joy. And God's blessed me through it all. It's interesting enough because I've had great support on both my mother and my father's side.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. It's about family, and it's about, sometimes family even lets you down. You gotta, you have friends that become family.
Yes. Yes, I've been blessed.
But we all do the best we can. At least we try to, And so God bless all that. My goodness, that won't He do it?
Yes, He will.
He'll make sure you don't go without.
Oh man, and I look at it now, and I look at my situation. I'm like, because I see people in worse situations,
Really?
and it's because some people don't even know their father's side of their family, don't have any type of relationship. They grew up in foster care, and they were in foster care from the very beginning. And I know my family. I have a relationship
Praise
with
God.
them. We get together on holidays. We, and I'm like, a blessing.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing. And I said, okay, God, make it do what it do. And that's just,
Make it do what it do.
Yeah.
Well, you're a sweetheart. You're a sweetheart. You're
you.
just a real sweetheart. Listen, I know we have about 12 minutes left. So what I'd like to do is talk about
Sure.
These pictures
Yes.
that you have here.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. And let's talk about what what took you to the space where you were ready to talk about it and put it into a book.
Okay. I had this feeling that I needed to get my story out. So what I did was you know what? Let me start writing this book. I never thought in a million years I would be writing a book.
Wow.
And I'm like, you got to get this story out because there's people that need to hear this. So I got a journal and started writing. Everything that came to mind, I put down.
Wow.
And one thing I like to say about my book is inspired by music because music was therapeutic to me growing up. There was a lot of times where I would be hungry and I would listen to music and it literally would take my mind somewhere else. So I did a lot of daydreaming as a child.
Wow.
And that helped me escape whatever I was going through. So I said, you know what? My book, of course, covers a lot of different topics. Low self-esteem, which I had for a long time. Not feeling like I'm enough. Feeling like nobody, wants me or just feeling down. And just trying to navigate this thing called life without my mother. because
That's rough.
girls need their mothers.
That's
The
rough,
worst
yeah.
part for me was Mother's Day, because I never
My
had
God.
my mother.
My God. Yeah.
So
Well, you can call me on Mother's Day if you like, along with all the aunties and everybody, because
Sure.
I'm loving on you.
oh,
I'm
thank
loving
you.
on you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I also wanted to say,
Sure.
you know, when you talk about this book and the journaling and the music, isn't that ironic that our ancestors did the same thing? You know, they're in the
Yeah.
fields. They're in, whether you were in the field or the house. I mean, either working hard, being raped, whatever was going on. Nobody was happy.
No.
You know, so music is what we had to fill our minds with to get through it, and it's something that you did the same thing.
Yes.
I feel like the ancestors
Wow.
were just carrying you along because you didn't have your mom.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's so true. I never thought about that.
yeah. Well, let's talk about this book.
Yes.
We have it displayed here, but it's what's it called?
It's called 1,000 Miles in My Shoes.
That's nice.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Did you come up with that yourself?
I did. And the funny thing was, I knew that the title of my book couldn't just be anything. It had to be something extraordinary. So, you know, I'm
Yeah.
in the ladies' room at home one night. I'm like, okay, God, what am I going to call this book? So all of a sudden, God hits me over the head with this title. And I was like, okay, that's it. So I literally ran. I was like, I started emailing to my publisher. I was like, yeah, this is it. And I went with it. I said, this is the name of my book.
It's perfect.
Thank you.
It's perfect.
Thank
So
you.
people say, you know, when you say some people, when you go to the different family events, et cetera, they don't really know, and some people out here don't know what you've been through. They don't. Because I didn't know what it felt like to be without my dad, no matter how many people lost their father, until it
Wow.
hit home. So some people may not ever understand what's going on. It doesn't mean they don't have empathy and love you.
Exactly.
You know. So my God.
Wow,
So
yes.
let's talk about it. What's your
Yes.
favorite chapter?
Ooh. Okay, I'd have to say that my favorite chapter of this book is. Yes.
That's
Now that
all
I
right.
think
Talk about
it.
one
Yes,
of the chapters
yes.
because it's beautiful. You can see the colors.
Yes.
Jacob, did you get a close up on this? It's so beautiful. It's like a horizon as you know,
Thank you.
all
Thank
the
you.
colors of like when the sun's going down.
And that's my face.
Come on now.
That's my face. I would have to say that one of my favorite chapters in my life, in this book is Masterpiece.
Masterpiece.
So
And why is that?
this is the it's because this is at the end of the book, and it pretty much takes you to a place in my life where I got to a place where I love me. I love everything. I love
Yes, ma'am.
the fullness of my lips. I love my curves.
Come on
and
now.
I used to shy away from that. When I was a kid, I used to think I was so huge. And now that I'm older, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so skinny. What's wrong with me? So it was insane.
Is this the one you're talking about?
Yes, and it's by that song is
Masterpiece Mona Lisa.
yes. And to listen to the words of that song, it's like finally coming out of a shell. And loving the person that I've become.
Come on, she's preaching and she's teaching y'all.
Yes.
Come on now, Stephanie White.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And I start off with I used to be in this group called Sisterhood when I was a kid. And I start off with a poem we used to say. It's like an affirmation.
Yes.
And
Is
it's
that
like,
it?
yes, the Sisterhood Pledge.
Yeah.
And it's, I love me, I love all that I am. I respect me, I honor me, and I pledge to never to do anything to disrespect me. I pledge to never to do anything to dishonor me. This is Kujijakulia, and this is my pledge.
I love it. I
So,
love it.
it's beautiful.
I'm going to invite you
Please do.
out to Four Sisters Network. I'm actually
Okay.
the secretary, historian,
Wow.
and MC. And the president, Peggy Morris, I have the logo for Sisters for Sisters Network, Jacob, right there. And I've been with them maybe 8 years or so, give or take, and they're celebrating their 16th year. And I'd like to bring you in as my guest and maybe
Sure.
a future speaker and whatever they might have for you there. I feel like I need to bring you there.
Oh, wow, thank you.
It's
I'd
a
be honored
wonderful
to.
organization helping women to connect and authors and doctors, and it's like GED to PhD to 501c3.
All right.
It's everything.
Yes, everything.
So you're gonna come as my guest. Okay.
Thank
I think
you.
we're having a fashion show. Oh my goodness. I don't have
that'd be
we have a lot of
wonderful.
things coming up. So we only have a few more minutes. So I'd like to ask you.
Sure.
You told us what got you through faith, and we
Yes.
just talked about that with our guest Jackie Hicks. Of course, I am on a faith walk right now. Glory to God. And life just sometimes changes, and you're like, what happened, right?
Yeah.
So when I look at you and all that you've been through, still smiling, still standing, writing a book, out here on the TV shows, my online radio show, and still smiling. Look at her, y'all, just smiling, just all smiles and giggles. I love it. What do you want to do next?
Wow.
And where do you see this book going? And how do you want it to affect people? What do you want it to be a takeaway for people who read this book, Stephanie?
I want this book to go as far as it would go. I want it to go to many different cities and many different states and many different countries. I want people to realize that they are not the only ones that are going through whatever situation that they're in. I want people to realize that you're not the only one who's grown up without a mother. You're not the only one who's been in the foster care system. You're not the only one to feel like you're ugly. You're not the only one to have low self-esteem. You can pick yourself back up. You can be successful.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can thrive. You can start your own business. You can go to college. You can do anything you put your mind to.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's what I want people to get from this book. Because even though I went through so many different tragedies, my success has been like phenomenal. I never would have thought in a million years I would be doing some of the things that I'm doing.
Yes,
And I said, okay, God, you got me here for a purpose, so I'm going to just keep moving forward. When you put an idea in my head, I'm going to just run with it.
Yes.
So there is more to life than what your struggle is. And in order to get on the other side, you have to fight.
Yeah.
You have to move through
You
that
have to
thing.
fight. Oh, yeah, it's not going to come
And
easy.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
And that thing called fear, what is it? False evidence appearing real.
Yes.
When we get that out the way and put that F and replace it with faith,
Yes.
girl, that's what's happening to you. It's your time. It's your
Amen.
time,
Thank
Stephanie.
You, thank you. I definitely want to do speaking engagements. I want to do book events in other cities. I want to even one day maybe have this book turn into a movie.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
That
Yes.
would be phenomenal
Yeah.
because it's a very good story. There's a lot of pain there. I sometimes talk to my relatives, and some of my family members go back to that day when they got the call. When it was like almost midnight when the accident happened. And I want to comfort them. And it's sad for me because I'm like, okay, this is my story that they're talking about. And I'm just like, okay, God, I'm here for a purpose. You got me here. Let me just do what I need to do.
Yeah, you're
And
here.
then-
You're here for a huge purpose, and that's what you're walking in right now. I'm just honored to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you
I'm
so
going to
much
do
for having
everything
me.
I can to help you.
Thank you.
Starting with the sisters, and we'll see where we go from there. But we're gonna be right. We tied right here.
Yes.
Come on, we right here.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much. Thank
How do
you.
they get a hold of you before we end this segment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So for more information about my book and to purchase my book, you can definitely get it at www.stephaniecwhite.com.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Please
you. Thank
support
you.
her.
Yes.
We only touched on her story. We have some of the newspaper ads, Jacob, as we end the segment. I had sent those on a separate email. But support this book. There we go. There we go.
That's me.
Graduating.
Yes.
Yes.
That's my mother and my
yes.
dad and my sisters and I.
My God.
It's me as a baby.
Yes.
And that's after the accident. My
God.
sister Brittany was in a wheelchair, and because she had so much brain damage, she had to get her hair cut really low.
My God.
And that's me pushing her.
And your dad.
And my dad.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be praying for this family.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to be praying for your family.
Yes.
God bless you. God bless
Thank you.
this book, and God
Thank
bless
you.
all of you. We'll see you
Yes.
next Wednesday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on WLVS, the Renee Allen and Friends Show. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Miss Renee Show.